Senior software developer at Design Profit. The software is on the screen. You should see it on your screen right now. I know some of the attendees said they had never used Design Profit before, so I'm going to run through a basic product demo. I'm going to try to get some of the newer advanced features if we have time. If anyone has any questions, please ask them. If I don't know the answer, I'll definitely get you the answer and get back to you. I should be able to answer most questions, but let's get started. The first thing I want to run through is what kinds of things you'd use Design Profit for. So Design Profit is made to help you remove cost, remove complexity, increase quality, remove weight from your design. So the idea is you're a company that makes something or has a process, and you want to improve that process. Well, Design Profit can tell you how much money you're going to save, where your waste is, all these types of things. So what I've done so far is on my screen, I've clicked New Project. I'm going to go ahead and just start a new project in Design Profit. There are a lot of screens in Design Profit. I'm not going to go through them all. I'm going to try to hit the big screens. I'm going to go through the symbology and kind of how you map your process, stuff like that. So like I said, there's a lot of things I can fill in on this screen, but I'm just going to give this guy a name and hit OK, and we'll see what it does here. It brings up my brand new project, and it shows me the baseline assembly. The main steps in doing a Design Profit project are you baseline your current process, you come up with ideas how you might like to change that, then you redesign your original process, then you report out and see where you're saving your money or your weight or you're increasing your quality, stuff like that. So here's what a Design Profit, a very simple and basic at this point, Design Profit cost map looks like. It consists of an assembly. You get one assembly for free and a fixture. So you can think of a fixture, and we're going to assemble something. So the fixture, maybe it's your hand. You're holding, the first thing you're going to do is put something in your hand, or maybe it's a table, something like that. So our symbols are listed right here across the top. And I'm going to go through it very quickly, explain what each one of these symbols is and how you might use it in a cost map. The very first one is a part. Most people have a pretty good idea of what a part is. It could be maybe a screw or some kind of a clamp or really any part in your assembly process. So right now I'll just call this guy a screw. Give it a part number. This must be unique. You give it a name and a description. I'm going to be lazy here and just call them all 3 screw, but I probably should have put in the part number. Then what you do is you can put in all the details about this part. Put in its weight. This guy weighs 0.001 pound. What does it cost? It costs a penny. Is there an investment cost in this part? Probably not. What's it made out of? I can choose a material. We have a lot of materials in this list. I'll just choose maybe one of these steels. I don't know. Now the next thing you do is you score this part. This helps you determine how much time are you spending with this part. The first part of the scoring is how do you pick it up? It's right here on the left of my of this dialog. Do you pick it up with one hand, 2 hands? Do you have to use a crane? Do you not pick it up at all? Those are your 4 options. Screw, probably we're picking it up with 1 hand. The next column describes the interactions between the part and the operator, the screw and myself. Is this part unstable? Does it not hold up under? Does it not hold its own weight under gravity? Maybe a long cable or something would be unstable. Screw probably isn't. Is it pull apart? Do I have to, when I'm picking it up, do I have to pull it away from the other screws? Maybe if it were a spring or something like that, I'd have to untangle it from other springs. Do I have to handle it carefully? Probably not on a screw. Do I have to? Is it a small part? Yeah, screw's probably a small part. I'll check that. And when I check it, you notice my Monroe score goes up to 3, and my actual time goes up too. To say, okay, now this part, I'm probably spending about 3 seconds with it. Is it going to be filthy? Probably not. Would I wear gloves? Yeah, if I'm assembling something on a shop floor, I'm probably wearing gloves. There goes my Monroe score again a little bit. Do I have to unwrap this screw? Probably not. Is it hazardous? Probably not. Now the next column describes the interaction between the part and the part I'm putting it onto. So in this case, I guess it would be the fixture I'm putting it onto. Do I have to fight gravity? Is it anything more than just setting it onto the other part? Are there complex motions required? Am I doing it in a vision restricted area? Do I have to reach around other things? Access limited. Does the operator have to know something special to put this particular part on? Do I have to hold it down while I'm putting it on? Or do I have to sort of hold it in place? Is there an ergo danger? If I have to put a 1,000 of these on in a day, am I going to go home with a sore shoulder? Something like that. And then the last one's poka-yoke. What this means is, are there two ways to put this thing on, one right and one wrong? Meaning, if this probably wouldn't apply to a screw, but a larger part is, should I put it on backwards and not know? Something like that. And you'll notice if I click any of these other boxes, they all move my Monroe score up, some more than others. I start clicking ergo danger and it jumps up quite a bit. I click poka-yoke, it jumps up a lot. So for the screw, I'm not going to check any of those things. Now a screw is also a fastener, so I can check that, and then I can put in all the details about the screw. I won't bore you with that right now, but we do capture all that information. We also have libraries of some of this stuff to get you started. Let me click OK, and we'll move on to some of these other symbols. Oh, because I told it was a fastener, I get this neat little adornment on my part. The square, like I said, is a part. That's what this square means. This adornment, this little mushroom-looking thing, is because it's a fastener. And the 4 is my Monroe score. In this case, Monroe score relates right to the actual time that it takes to deal with that. Now, if I happen to know, maybe I've done some timings on my shop floor, and I know that this is really taking me 5 seconds with this screw, and I can go in here and change it, and it'll change. Again, this guy shows me my Monroe score. There are ways to make it show you your actual time. That's kind of an advanced feature. Maybe I'll show that later. The next symbol that we have in the group is subassembly. I'll put one of these on here. I'm not going to go into this one as deeply. I'm just going to call it subassembly. You'll notice it has a lot of the same stuff as the part. The scoring is very similar. The thing that's a little bit different about the subassembly is you can break it down into other parts. So if I right-click the subassembly and I say Analyze, all of a sudden I have a new line, and I can put all the parts that build up this subassembly into it. The way you remember that, or the way sort of the description behind the subassembly symbol is, it's a square, so it's a part. It's got a square inside of it, meaning it's a part with other parts inside of it. The next symbol here is a preprocessed part. Let me add one of these. Preprocessed part. Again, same kind of scoring stuff. Just about everything's the same. You can I forgot to mention this on subassembly, but for these guys that can be broken down further, you can define a cost center. Right now, I only have one in my list, but maybe you have different on your plant floor. Maybe you have different levels of operators doing things. That's where you would handle something like this. Let me click OK here, and let's look at what this symbol looks like. Again, preprocessed part. This is a part, square. It's got a circle inside. In a minute, we're going to learn that circles for operations. So this is a part with operations in it. The idea behind a preprocessed part is it probably, again, you can break it down with an analyze. Probably has a part in it, and then you're probably doing some operations to that part. That's the idea there. The next symbol is a tool. It is a triangle. Design Profit comes preloaded with a few of these tools here. We'll call this one a power tool. Maybe we're using a power tool. It knows a power tool takes about 4 seconds to get it, to pick it up, get it usable. You can put a piece cost in here, or an investment tool also has investment cost. It's going to ask me for some of that stuff here. Like maybe I know this tool cost me $100. I can put that in. And I'll click OK. A tool is a right side up triangle pointing up. And the reason behind that is you pick up a tool. That's the way to remember that a tool is a triangle pointing up. The very next guy is a triangle pointing down. It's a fastening operation. Let me add one of those to the diagram. And you'll notice you come with Design Profit comes preloaded with some fastening operations. A whole bunch of them are listed here. Let's say this guy is going to be a power screw. Maybe my tool was a drill, a screw gun, which I should have probably gone in and changed the name to screw gun. But whatever I'm doing, I'm going to power screw down. Let me click OK. Again, I have a few options here. Not as many as on a part. Sort of the same ones that are on tool. I can say it's a poka-yoke issue, maybe an ergo danger. I can tell the actual time and if there's any dwell time on this guy. Let me click OK. We'll notice that this symbol is a triangle pointing down because you fasten something down. So you pick up a tool, fasten something down. That's the logic behind those two symbols. A little neat way to keep track in your mind. The next symbol is an operation. You can think of these as non-value-added operations. We used to call them that in the past, but some people get a little cranky about calling things non-value-added. But so we just call them operations now. Like if you have to move, like the operator has to move 18 inches here in this case. You have to manipulate the part somehow. You have to change direction. That's what the CDI stands for. If you use a crane, you'll notice that takes quite a while. Let me just put a little operation here. That's a circle. Again, it's a circle. Pre-processed part is a square with a circle inside of it because the idea is it's a part that has operations inside. So operation is a circle. The next symbol is a multi-touch. This is a part type symbol. The idea is you're touching a part that you've already placed again. So, I'd be touching, for some reason in my assembly I've got to touch my screw twice. In lean design methodology, that's kind of a no-no. So the symbol is a stop sign to mean stop doing that. So that's the idea behind the multi-touch symbol. The very next guy, this little symbol with teeth, this is a material modification. So if we were using our tool from before, a power drill, but this time we're using it instead of as a screw gun, we're going to use it as a drill, and we're going to drill a hole, we could use drill a hole. This looks very similar to the tool and the fastening. It is very similar to those. You put in how much time it takes. This guy is preloaded with 15 seconds. Let me add that. It's sort of this little, the symbol is sort of this little jagged thing. I think that's supposed to represent kind of like a saw blade because you're changing whatever part it is. You're actually modifying it in some way. The next symbol is a repeat. I'm not going to go too deep into repeats. You actually have to add a repeat library item. I'll just call this repeat 1. This is another one of those parent symbols that you can add things under. It works a lot different from subassembly, and it's kind of an advanced thing. I don't want to get into it at this point. I just want to show you what the symbol looks like. It's this little sort of a track with arrows going around it, meaning every place you put this repeat, that process is repeated right there. The next symbol is inspect. Really quickly, this is just an inspection or a test. Preloaded with 30 seconds. You can change that. The symbol looks like it's been described to me as a bow tie, and the way I remember it, or the way you can remember it, is that the inspector who comes and looks at your plant floor, he wears a bow tie, so that's why it's a bow tie symbol. The next symbol is a little different from the other ones. It's a note. It looks like a little post-it note. Let you type in some text. This is a note, and it doesn't do anything, doesn't add anything to the model except just a little place to put a note. Oh, if I type this is a note up here, it would show up on my diagram. It's a place where you can just make notes on your diagram. The final symbol we have right now is this option symbol. Let me add that at the end here. And what this is where you can put variation in your model. If you have, maybe you're making a car and you have a luxury sedan and a basic, this is where you could do model. And I'm going to put in luxury and basic. And what this guy does is he gives me a place to make a choice here in my model, and I can start mapping again right here. Let me put a part right there, luxury part, and it costs, let's say, $100. Oh, I guess that's $1,000. It costs $100, and down here, if I'm doing the basic model, now I've got a basic part, and this costs $10. Okay. So now I've described all the symbols to you. I want to show you how these all kind of come together in a map that has already been created. So let me pull up my other map, and this is a map of how to make a turkey burger. We use the burger example because everybody kind of knows how to make a burger. We could have mapped a car or an airplane or really anything here. It's been used to map satellites, all kinds of stuff. But that makes for a very big map, and not everybody knows a lot about those things, but everybody knows how to make a burger. So let me kind of explain what we're doing here. The very first thing we're doing, we got a note symbol. If I open this up, we can see what it has in it. Oh, here's our recipe. Somebody was kind enough to put the recipe for our burger right here at the very start of the model. This should say recipe. Let me change that right now, show you how easy it is to make changes in Design Profit. There we go. Now it says recipe. Very first thing to do is get your grill. So there you can see we got a picture of a grill. As a matter of fact, if I come up here and I say show thumbnails, I'll show the pictures right here on the diagram map for everyone. So we got my grill, need a mash, so that's, you'll notice these guys are tools. The upward pointing triangle, so the grill's a tool, the mash is a tool. The next thing I got to do is heat up my coal. So if I go in here, I see that the coal is going to take 10 minutes to heat, and we've got a quality issue. I didn't explain the quality tab before, but here's a quality issue. Coal did not light, and it's going to happen, we're going to say, out of a million. This is parts per million. It's going to happen maybe 50,000 times or 5% of the time. So what happens if we have that issue? You scroll down on this sort of blue dotted line. You got to do your match again and heat the coal again. Design profit. That's a real simple one that I wanted to show you. Let me go back up to the top and we'll follow along here a little bit further. Next thing to do is prepare your sides. So if I follow this line down, you just push the down key. If you're using this on a map, you just push the down key to get here. But first thing doing for preparing your sides, you get a tray, you get the lettuce, you rinse the lettuce, you dry it, you tear it, put it on the tray. So really, we're get a knife, get your tomato, slice your tomato, put it on the tray, get an onion, slice the onion, put it on the tray. So this is how we're preparing our sides. I noticed below there's a quality issue somebody put in here, and it says drop the, I think it says platter, it doesn't show the whole thing there. 1% of the time, you're a klutz, you drop the platter. What do you need to do if that happens? You got to clean the mess up, get another tray, get another lettuce, et cetera, et cetera. So let me go back to the top of my diagram. We'll keep going. The next thing to do is to make the turkey burger patty. So I've got another note here that shows all the ingredients I'm going to need and their costs. Somebody was kind enough to put that in here. And some description. It tells me somebody copied and pasted what a pinch, a dash, a smidgen are, because the recipe calls for those things. So for this guy, you get a bowl, get your part ground turkey, get your part garlic salt, apply the garlic salt, etc. So here we've made the patties. Moving right along, we're going to wash and dry our hands. We're going to walk to the grill. We're going to put the patties on. Now we're going to cook them. Here we come to an option. What are our options? We can make a rare burger. We can make a medium. We can make a well done. And here's how you map them. We're going to do a material mod, cook the burger. And in the rare, let's open that up. We're going to cook it for 3 minutes. That's going to be pretty rare. Wait a second. We flip it. We set aside the flipper. We walk to the lounger. We cook the burger a little longer. So 3 minutes on one side, 3 minutes on the other. Okay, a little less rare than I thought. And then you can choose, here's another option, whether or not to apply cheese. So that's how you do that. Next, in the medium, sort of the same thing, just a little longer. We're cooking 4 minutes per side. That's sort of how the options work. You'll notice one of these options is selected, rare. Our burger is going to be rare. If I wanted to change that, I can come in here and I right-click here. No, I made a mistake. It must be in here. How do I change my options? Well, I'd have to get back to you on that one. I'm not. Oh no! Wait a second. I know where it is. Here. Using assembly rollups. I think that's where the checkbox is. Yeah, there we go. It's inside this symbol. Using assembly rollups. There we go. That's where you make the change. Now we're making medium burgers instead of rare. Moving right along. Walk to the cabinet. Get your meat thermometer. Get a tray. Walk to the grill. Make sure you've got 160. I don't want anybody getting sick. Put the burgers on a tray, walk to the table, get burger buns, get a fork, put the burger on the bottom bun, optionally add your condiments. I won't go into this too deeply, but there's all of our condiments. And then place the top of the burger on the bun, and we're done. Now, mapping this process out may seem like a long process, but it's very helpful to you to do, to a person that's building something, because as you're doing it, you can get ideas on how to make this process better in any way that you might want to improve it. So I came up with a couple of ideas. Brainstorm. That's the next step, brainstorm. You put your ideas on a brainstorming sheet, and as I was doing it, I said, there's got to be a way to do this faster. You'll notice back here that waiting for the coal to heat up, that took 10 minutes, and I want to go faster than that. So my brainstorming sheet, I said use a gas grill. So what I've done now, that's my idea. Now I redesign my process. So let me open up my faster redesign. Let's see what that looks like. You'll notice that when I open this, it's very similar to the baseline. Matter of fact, all these things that are gray are the exact same as the baseline. But what I've done is I've crossed out my my Weber grill, my coal grill. I've crossed out the match. I don't need that anymore if I'm doing a gas grill. I've crossed out heating and cold. Now I've put in a gas grill. I say light the grill like with an igniter. And again, we're going to heat. This time we're going to heat the grill, but I'm only going to wait 30 seconds instead of 10 minutes. I only got to wait for the the metal part of the grill to heat up before I can start cooking on it. So I've got an idea on how to make my process faster. But how do I know how much faster it made it, or how do I know how much money I've saved, or time I've saved, or quality? I got rid of a quality issue here too. You notice I no longer do I have to worry about the coal not lighting because I'm using gas. So let me show you how we report. So I've got my faster executive summary right here, and this is a report. This is what a reporting screen looks like. We have a lot of reports. I think there's about 12 of them in this list. I'm going to show you our big hitter report. This is our executive summary. So what I've done is I've pulled our baseline into here, and I've pulled my faster redesign, and the things I'm going to show are listed over here. The main one, the big one, is going to see, I want to see if my dwell time went down. That's the amount of time I'm waiting around. It's called dwell. I'm not paying somebody during that time, but I still got to, I got to wait. So that, and maybe I should notice a little difference in quality. Now that I've said it, I hope I do, but let me click View to preview my report. Here we go. My original turkey burger, it was taking me 19 minutes. I've taken off 9.5 minutes, and that makes sense because I was waiting 10 minutes for my coal to get hot. Change that now to only 30 seconds. So there's your 9.5 minutes right there. Actual time went down a little bit. That's probably from not having to light the match. Let's see if my Q burden. Well, my Q burden, I guess the quality issue on the charcoal wasn't large enough to affect my Q burden, unfortunately. Let me go make a little change here and say, what if my coal doesn't light 20% of the time? And let's see, it costs me, I don't know, $2 every time that happens. I don't know why that would cost you $2, but just as an example, let me refresh this and see if I can see it. There we go. Now, since I removed that, now it's cost me 44 cents because my coal doesn't light more of the time, and for some reason it cost me $2. I've taken that out in my gas grill example. So that's just an example of how you can redesign something. The last thing I want to show you today is one of our newest features. Actually, the option sets were a very new feature too, so you got that kind of advanced thing. But one of our newest features is our custom fields. Let me open my baseline back up. And one issue that we used to have in the past with Design Profit is everybody wanted to track something that wasn't in here. And we had a few ways to do it, but now we have a great way to do it, and it's by using our custom fields. They're very powerful. The example I'm showing you shows you about 1% of their power. There's a lot more you can do with them, but I'm going to track calories. So here's what this screen looks like. I've given it a name, calories, a description, the number of calories and ingredients. I've given a category. This isn't a big deal, but I said it's an input. It's going to be on symbols. And it's only going to be on parts. You know, like an operation like walking to the cabinet wouldn't have calories. I guess maybe in a way it would because you burn calories, but I didn't consider that in this example. It's a number. You know, calories is just a number, no decimal places. We're going to let it roll up so we can compare it in the executive summary. Let me show you kind of where I filled this out and what the effects are. I put the calories for this guy, like for instance the ground turkey for my turkey burger. The calories, you go into the properties, come over here to custom field, and then you can see I entered that the turkey burger is 203 calories. Let me show you one of the things I changed. Go over the mayonnaise. Let's just take a quick look at the mayonnaise. The mayonnaise is 94 calories. Okay, so you'll notice on my brainstorming sheet I've got ideas for making healthier. So let's take a look at that. I had 3 ideas, 2 of which I mapped. You don't have to map every idea if you don't like some of them. One of them was use a lettuce wrap instead of a bun. So I've mapped that in the redesign called Healthier, and that's where you see that. Use low-calorie mayonnaise. I've mapped that in Healthier, and then use a veggie burger. I didn't map that, but I could. That would be very easy to do. I won't do it today, and I haven't done it, but it would be very easy to do. Let me open up Healthier and show you that really quick. I know I'm getting a little near the end of my time here, but let me open this guy up. So here, again, you'll recognize my just basically my baseline. Everything we see on this screen, gray, so it's the same as it was on the original. Let's move over to the side here where the bun was. Here we go. I'm using a lettuce wrap. If I pull my idea on here, you can see how I've actually, which ones are affected by this idea. So I pulled on the lettuce wrap one, so here are the things that are affected. I'm using a lettuce wrap instead of a bun, so we got a lettuce leaf and no bun, 4 of them. I'm putting the burger on a lettuce leaf now instead of the bun, and I don't have to put a bun on top. So that's where that guy is. And I've also mapped out the low-calorie mayonnaise. Let me pull that guy onto here, and you can see those two are down here. I've taken out my regular mayonnaise, which, as you remember, was 94 calories. I've replaced it with this low-calorie mayonnaise, which I'll show you that in custom fields. I put that in as 15. I looked those up, so I got a feeling those are really close numbers. Let's look at the executive summary real quick. I made a faster executive summary here. Oh, excuse me, healthier executive summary. Let me open that guy up. Again, I'm showing a lot of these same fields. This time I've added on my roll-up calories right here. You can see it. Let's view it. So my old burger, moving down this executive summary, had 37 parts, 4 of them good. I didn't get into what a good part is. That's a little bit more on the lean design process part of it. The amount of time, a little less time now with no bun. Lettuce wrap takes a little less time than any fasteners, Ergo Dangerous, Poke Yoke. Weighs less. This is for 4. Remember, this is for 4 burgers, so my piece cost for 4 burgers is $6.28. Now I'm down to $5.39 without the bun. Labor's a little less. I don't know what we're paying the guy to make the hamburgers, but we are, I guess. Cube earned the same, but my total cost, $7.92. The thing I was interested in, though, calories. For my 4 burgers before was $15.16. Now I'm down to $8.88. So that's pretty good. I got a little annual savings there. I think the production on this guy, you set your annual production in your assembly here. Let me see what it was. Oh, it's 100,000. Well, that's how we're saving that much money on my annual production. The last thing I want to show you is I kind of showed you the brainstorming sheets. Now I can show you the effects of these individual ideas. So let me view that. Oh, so I got my brainstorming significance. The main thing I want to show is the calories. So for each idea and idea number, I'm going to show what the change in calories was. So let's view that. Here we go. My first idea that I mapped, use a lettuce wrap, change the part count by 4. I guess that's probably taking out some of those buns. The weight's down a little bit. But the interesting thing is calories. Okay, I'm down on 312 of my calories for the lettuce wrap. I'm down 316 for my low-calorie mayonnaise. So I can really break down all my changes all the way down sort of the elemental level here and find out what each one of them saved me, each one of my ideas, what that pays me, which is the best one, which should I implement. You can see how this would be used in a manufacturing environment and how you might, maybe instead of use a lettuce wrap, we're talking about use the snap fit over something we were previously power screwing on, something like that. That brings me to the end of the presentation of the turkey burger example. One last thing I just thought of, I want to show is that we also have process sheets for your manufacturing guys. You can draw up your process sheets, how to prepare a turkey burger. So this is the thing you hand to the guy on the plant floor. This is in here. Let me just preview it for you real quick. Here's what it looks like. So you start off with a picture. Let me get this guy out of the way. Get a nice picture and some information down here, but as you move through these pages, you get all the steps. So you give this guy on your plant floor, here's how we're going to make our hamburger. You've got your first picture and your instructions. Put in warning, do not burn yourself. Heat glow to a goal, approximately 10 minutes. So this is really neat for when you're actually ready to build your product. You can make them. You can make them for your baseline. You can make them for your redesigns. All of it's right there for you in Design Profits. Now that really does bring me to the end of my presentation of the turkey burger example. And if there are any questions, I would be very happy to answer them or attempt to answer them now.